Welcome back, Raider Nation. It's Joseph here for Zany62. So we have Greg Olson that did his press conference today in day 2 of training camp. And so he regurgitated a lot of the things that John Gruden said yesterday. But here's a couple of things that I pulled out that I found pretty interesting. One is he brought up something that I'm still getting clarification on, but he did mention that there are 3 players, and this is in reference to him getting a question from a reporter, that there are 3 offensive players that are out because of either COVID, contraction, or in close proximity with someone who has COVID. Now, during this conversation, it sounded initially like he was talking about linebackers, which raised the concern, obviously, for anyone knowing that we have a new linebacker core, offensive linebacker core. So what I did was I reached out to an insider that I have that was at the press conference, and he reached back to me. Didn't give any specifics, but he went on to say and told me that it was in reference to running backs. And obviously, Greg Olson is not going to tell us who specifically those players were. It's not like we have 6 or 7 running backs. So when you think about the handful of running backs that we do have, or the 4 or 5 that we do have, I don't want to speculate, but if the 3 offensive players that were in contact or potentially have COVID are any of the running backs that we think, it's kind of scary. Again, for clarification, it's still news that's developing. I don't think the Raiders will tell us initially who those players are. This is the second day of training camp. So let's hold back and really think about the fact that we don't want to get too nervous. But the fact is, there are 3 players out there that have either contacted COVID or have been in close proximity with somebody who has COVID. We do know from yesterday, John Gruden's press conference, he was a little bit more forthcoming with regards to the vaccination rates. He did say that his coach, obviously, and staff were vaccinated, but also said that there are about anywhere from 3 to 5 players that weren't. And so Andre James shows up to the press conference wearing a mask. So potentially he may be one of those players who's not vaccinated. Fortunately, it sounds like he's not one of the offensive players that have a COVID situation going on. Thankfully, Andre James was wearing his face mask, and let's hope that he's able to get vaccinated and get those antibodies in him, because it does take a few weeks for everything to work. And that's my only concern, was hopefully everybody could have been vaccinated prior to training camp, because in order for this to take effect, weeks will have to go by before these vaccinations kick in, which could potentially mean that there's downtime between those getting vaccinated now and the work they can put in the training camp. So keep it here on Zany62. Don't forget to like and subscribe.